Hello, I'm Mr. Pleasant Books. For this book talk, we'll be discussing the first book in the Fid Chronicles, Fid's Crusade. This this book I picked it up on a sale. I thought it looked interesting, just another superhero, supervillain book. I was just like, it'll be something to help pass the time. Turned out to be excellent storytelling. I really connected with the villain Fid because it's about his story and just the way that he lives his life, the rules that he follows. It really just made me appreciate the guy, made me actually root for him a little bit. Let's see, non spoilers. Fid is a supervillain. He has power armor that he uses to fight the superheroes, but he does it for a specific reason, and it's just the story of what that reason is and why he's constantly trying to stay the top villain, become somebody that everyone's terrified of. And again, it's just an excellent storytelling. And even if you're not much into the superhero scene, I think you'd actually would like this book because the story arc and the way that he brings the characters together and just everything that the author does, David H. Reiss does with the book and with the story and the characters, just is very unique. Maybe there's other stories like this. This is the first story like this I've personally read, so it's unique to me. I believe it'll be unique to anybody who reads the book. So that's it for the non-spoileries. From here forward, I will be sharing spoilers for the stories. Just letting you know. Okay, bye. Okay, Fid's Crusade. The first I'm going to start off with, the guy just can't seem to catch a break. And he loses his younger brother while bringing him to his favorite hero. He loses his best friend, the only friend that he's had basically since his younger brother died, in 20 years. And then and then when he tries to connect with others of that same group that his best friend Sternix was a part of, they want nothing to do with him because he's a violent villain, and they're non-violent villains. They're more, about the exposing people and their crimes, whereas will he finds out that the heroes aren't living up to their nom de cure. They're not following the heroes. They're being sexist or racist, or they hurt people, or they just damage too much property. And Fid goes out there to correct them in that thinking and beats the living crap out of them. And so he can't seem to catch a break until he meets Whisper, who is an AI, which I think says more about Fid than about anyone else. Yeah, Whisper is an AI whose brain is that of a child, and developing, so she'll actually grow older in her mentality and mindset. But Fid has also done so much modifications on his own body that honestly he sounds more machine than man himself. But but the modifications he uses are just incredible. I mean, he can access the internet no matter where he is, basically. It's when one of his bones or his organs break and get damaged, he can regrow them. Like, he lost his arm. His entire arm was cut off. And he regrew it and had a new one in less than a day. So, more machine than man, that's fine. Fid is who he is. And he does. The armor that he's built, because he's a genius. So the armor he builds is really good armor, and I like the way he describes it, like a starlight motif, just all over. And then the joints are red, glowing, like they actually almost leave like an afterburn in the air when he moves. I know, in his voice modulation, I've always said that if I gained superpowers, I would be a superhero because my family would want me to be a superhero. And I just couldn't disappoint my parents and my friends. But my inclinations, I think, would be more towards the Fid, which is stealing what I need to steal, building what I want to build, and beating the ever-living crap out of any hero who didn't live up to the hero name. And villain who was just too vicious and mean. Like, there was one called Locust. I don't know if Fid killed him, but he was killed, and I think Fid helped maneuver that to happen, because Locust was just too wild, too crazy, and he had to be put down to make it just the world a safer place for everybody. Because even though Fid's a villain and he does have blood on his hands, He's kind of the good guy villain, if that makes any sense. Not an anti-hero. He's definitely a villain, but a good guy villain. Like he has standards for what he believes villains and people should live by. And then there's Red Ghost, who, if I did become a hero, I would like to think of myself as becoming like Red Ghost. The respect that he pays, and that even villains have for him because he's a good person. He doesn't do unnecessary damage. He thinks about what he's doing so that people don't get hurt. He works towards actually making the world a better place. And he's even willing to work with Fid when Fid kind of have a mental breakdown when his friend Sternix dies, and getting those inertial dampeners to make car crashes less deadly and less injurious. Like he, so if I did become a hero, I would like to think I'd be more like the Red Ghost because he's just a good guy. He's actually one of the, what was it, the one of the 3 or 4 heroes that Fid actually respects, and that he's gone out of his way not to damage excessively because they're actually good people. And then there's the hero Valiant, the most powerful hero on the planet, and Fid takes great pride in being the only being on Earth and even in the universe or the surrounding galaxy who has fought Valiant for the longest and walked away. Because no one else really can make that claim, but Fid fought him for 22 minutes or 24 minutes, something like that, and walked away or flew away, but actually got away from him and damaged him. So he had a bleeding out of his mouth, his eye kind of swelled shut in the last fight, and Fid is the only being who can claim that. There was even a gladiator who came from outer space to fight Valiant, got his butt kicked, and so that's just how powerful Fid's armor is and how smart he is about what he does and how he fights. And there's just something to say about having power armor as and being a genius as your super ability. It really makes you a force to be reckoned with, someone you don't wanna screw around with. And but that's about it. The book ends with Fid being kind of the hero of the story. He saves the planet from the Legion invasion. He's still the villain. He still robs and steals and beats up heroes, but he's now looked at by the people as maybe not quite so evil. But he's still a villain, definitely. And that's it for my book talk. I hope you enjoyed it. My next book talk will be on The Sword of Shannara by Terry Brooks. I'm Mr. Pleasant Books. Thank you for listening.